On June 4, 2008, 30-year-old Travis Alexander was murdered in the bathroom of his home. The autopsy documented 27 stab wounds, a slashed trachea, and a gunshot wound to the head. In forensic science, this specific pattern of severe physical trauma is classified as homicidal overkill. It describes a scenario where the volume of violence goes far beyond what is biologically necessary to cause death. The person responsible for this level of violence was his ex-girlfriend, a 28-year-old photographer named Jodi Arias. To understand this crime, we have to look backwards from the crime scene and trace how a toxic relationship escalated into a lethal need for absolute control. Travis Alexander was a charismatic insurance salesman and motivational speaker living a quiet life in the suburbs of Mesa, Arizona. He met Jodi Arias at a Las Vegas work convention in 2006. Their brief 5-month romance eventually morphed into a boundaryless, obsessive, and highly documented sexual relationship that continued long after they officially broke up. The relationship reached a breaking point when Travis planned a work trip to Cancun, Mexico, and arranged to bring another woman instead of Arias. That impending trip acted as a psychological tripwire. For Arias, being replaced was perceived as an existential threat, transforming her toxic attachment into a lethal obsession. Days before the murder, Arias rented a car and drove hundreds of miles to Arizona. She carried portable gas cans to refuel in secret, ensuring she wouldn't leave a financial paper trail on surveillance cameras. But the forensic evidence at the scene was undeniable. Investigators found a strand of her hair stuck to the hallway floor in blood, along with the bloody palm print on the wall that contained a mixture of her DNA and Travis's. Investigators reconstructed Travis's final hours using evidence recovered from his washing machine. Arias had thrown a digital camera into a wash cycle to destroy it, but police extracted the deleted memory card data, revealing the exact timestamps of the photos. The metadata reveals a terrifying presence of mind. At 5:29 p.m., Travis is alive in the shower. Minutes later, the documentation of their intimacy is replaced by a frenzied attack. The camera even captured accidental images during the assault itself, proving her physical proximity to the victim as the violence occurred. She spent hours cleaning the bathroom and laundering the linens, but the camera and the bloody prints remained. This combination of destroyed and preserved evidence exposed an organized attempt to conceal a chaotic crime. While Arias's mother claimed her daughter's childhood was ideal, her history told a different story. Police reports documented a pattern of boundary violations, including hacking into accounts and slashing tires when Travis tried to end the relationship. This radar chart illustrates the traits of borderline personality disorder, the diagnosis assigned to Arias by the prosecution's clinical expert. The disorder is characterized by unstable interpersonal relationships and an intense pathological fear of abandonment. To enmesh herself in Travis's life, Arias utilized identity mirroring, such as converting to his Mormon faith and being baptized to strengthen her ties to him. On the day of the murder, Arias used sexual intimacy as a final bargaining chip, documenting the encounter on camera. When Travis still refused to cancel his trip with the other woman, the rejection became a direct assault on her sense of control. In psychological terms, this is a profound narcissistic injury. The homicidal overkill was the physical manifestation of that injury, a violent reassertion of control, driven by the belief that nobody else would have him. Once arrested, Arias rapidly shifted her alibis. She initially claimed she wasn't in the state, then blamed masked intruders, and finally pivoted to claiming self-defense against a history of abuse. The trial became a global media circus. Arias spent 18 days on the witness stand, attempting to use the trial as a platform to craft a victim persona. But the prosecution dismantled that narrative through aggressive cross-examination, highlighting her history of pathological lying and her organized efforts to stage the crime scene. Her exhaustive courtroom performance operated as a real-time demonstration of her compulsive need to manipulate and control her own narrative. The final forensic debate balances two extremes: the logistics of a stolen gun and rental car against the explosive, chaotic reality of 27 stab wounds. Experts conclude the crime was a deadly intersection, a meticulously planned ambush that unleashed an uncontrollable, expressive borderline rage. Even behind bars, Arias has continued to seek influence, managing social media accounts and attacking critics through surrogates to maintain her public profile. The Jodi Arias case stands as a warning of how untreated personality pathology, when triggered by abandonment, can turn a toxic relationship into a scene of